So, good morning to all the webinar team members, principals, teachers, and my dear students. I myself, MD Mujibur Rahman, Principal, Model School Gavichalla, Warangal Rural District, and Subject Coordinator for today's session. Takes pleasure in welcoming you all for today's webinar class of Junior Intermediate on Economics subject. My dear students, in earlier session, you are all aware of the topics which are covered, like you were introduced to the subject, you are told about the importance of this subject, what the subject deals with, what is the subject matter, that is the scope of economics, was thoroughly dealt in the previous session. Now today, as continuation to what is learnt in earlier session, we will move ahead with other topics. And the topic for today's session is the different definitions put forward by different economists from time to time. And okay, these definitions and the contribution made by different economists has changed the scope and significance of the subject. Okay, and also we'll be learning about the different basic concepts like what are goods, the classification of goods and services, what is meant by wants, features, normative and positive aspects of economics. These all topics are going to be dealt in this particular session. It is my privilege to introduce the presenter for today's session. She is Srimati G. Sridevi Madam, working as PGT in Economics in TS Model School, Midodi in Siddipet district. Already Madam has dealt the earlier session. Okay, Madam has done her post graduation in Economics and Commerce subject and also diploma in Business Management. She has had vast experience in teaching of nearly 20 years in different colleges, handled varied subjects, different subjects from inter to degree level. So all students get ready for the session. Okay, be ready with your pen and book. Okay, and note down whatever the points are being told. I invite Madam for the session. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Welcome to the economics webinar session, children. Good morning to the principal, teachers, students, viewers, and all the students who are viewing the webinar session. I welcome you all for the economics webinar session. Already we have dealt with the introduction to economics. In this part 2, I'll be dealing the other concepts. In the today's session, the contents of the session are definition of economics, basic concepts of economics, positive and normative economics. Now, let us see the learning objectives of this particular session. Students, at the end of this session, you will be able to understand the different definitions of economics, and they'll also understand the basic concepts of economics such as free goods, economic goods, consumer goods, capital goods, intermediary goods, wealth, income, utility, value, price, and welfare. And you'll also be able to analyze, children, the nature of economics, that is your positive and normative aspects, children. Okay, we'll go with the first definitions of economics. So here, children, various definitions of economics emerged during the course of the history. It is not possible to study all these definitions individually, right? So for simplicity purpose, all these definitions can be studied under the following categories. So the categories are: first one, wealth definition given by Adam Smith. Next, second definition is welfare definition given by Alfred Marshall. And third, scarcity definition given by Leon Robinson. And fourth, growth definition given by Paul A. Samuelson. So, children, these are the four definitions. To simplify, to study the economic, we have taken these four definitions in your intermediate first year. Coming to the first definition is your wealth definition. So, what is wealth, children? Can you see? Wealth is nothing but it's an acquisition of your income. When you accumulate your income and it is stored and accumulated, then that is called as your wealth, children. So this particular definition was given by Adam Smith. He defined economics as science of wealth. He defined it in his famous book, Wealth of Nations. So he has written a book, his famous book, Wealth of Nations, children. And he says economics as an inquiry into the nature and causes of wealth of nations, children. Now, let us see, there are some important people, economists, who have supported the Adam Smith definition. So, J.B. Say, F.A. Walker, J.S. Mill. These are the three economists who have supported the Adam Smith definition. According to JB he says that economics is the aim of political economy is to show the way in which wealth is produced, distributed, and consumed to children. And according to F.A. Walker, he says that economics is a body of knowledge which is related to wealth. And J.S. Mill defined economics as the nature of wealth and the laws which govern its production, distribution, and exchange. So you can see everybody is concentrating on the concept, or emphasis was given on the wealth. Now let us see the important features of wealth definition. So the first important feature is the main objective of human activity is wealth acquisition. According to wealth definition, or according to Adam Smith, he says that the main objective of human activity means we people involved in activities, right? Our main objective is what? Acquisition of wealth, he says that. And he says that wealth refers to goods produced. Means when you buy your goods and services which are produced, so all what we consider in the form of goods, that is called as wealth according to him. And man is treated as selfish, whose objective is to accumulate more and more wealth. So he says that, Adam Smith says that, okay, a person, a man or individual who would be selfish and whose intention, whose objective would be what? Acquiring or accumulating more and more wealth, children. And he says that economics deals with the activities of wealth, production, consumption, preservation, and increasing. Mean all surrounded with the wealth concept only. So he says that activities which are related to wealth, it could be production activity or your consumption activity, preservation and increasing, all which is related to the activities which are increasing our wealth. So these are the important features, children, of wealth definition. Now let us see the criticisms. So what are these criticisms, children? So generally, uh, when we have a conflicting idea of the person who is giving, the opposite person who is giving, and when you're going to against for that particular concept, that is called as criticism. So as we know that wealth definition is given by Adam Smith, and what we have just studied about the important features, what does the definition tell? But for this particular definition also, we have some critics, like who tell there are some problems or some kind of points which you have to concentrate, but that has been missed. Okay, so that conflicting ideas, that is, those are called as criticisms, children. So first criticism, what does that mean? Stress was mainly on material wealth. Material wealth is what he said, production or consumption or acquiring everything which is related to material wealth, he said. But children, as we know that as we are human beings, we need material wealth at the same time, which have non-material things also equally important for us. Okay, which are very important for our livelihood, non-material things, but that has been not stressed by the wealth definition. Like what are the non-material things? It could be a safety, security. Okay, these are all come under your love, affection, appreciation, which are also play a very important role for an individual. But this has been not discussed by wealth Adam Smith. That is why this particular point has become a criticism, children. Next, he ignored the role of services and concentrated on the material goods. So, when you take the services, children, services of teachers, services of doctor, lawyer, engineer, these are also very important for our people living in the society. Yes or no? But here in wealth definition, he has ignored the services, that is, services have been not concentrated and it has been ignored. That is why this particular definition has become a criticism, children. And coming to the third point, what is the third criticism is, he has concentrated on the production side and neglected the distribution side. So he said how we have to acquire all the material goods which are related to production, everything which is related to wealth only given important. But how this wealth is produced and how it has to be distributed to the people in the society, for the welfare of the society, that has been not spoke by the Adam Smith. That is why this particular point has become a criticism, children. I hope you are able to understand, right? Then coming to your fourth point, he says economists such as Wiley, Carley, Rusk, and Jones have criticized that economics must discuss ordinary man's activities, not those of economic man. So, who is ordinary man, children? We, the people, all are ordinary man. Okay, in general, everybody, we all are ordinary men. So, we all are working, we are earning, we are living our life. But he says that he only stresses upon the production, consumption, or whose idea, like a person whose idea is only concentrating or how to increase money, 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 money. Okay, how he has to accumulate. So if that kind of a person's attitude is taken into this wealth definition, but we all people won't only keep that is in mind, right? We also take what do you say, welfare of the people in the society, children and all. This is also very equally important, right? But that has been not concentrated here. So that is why this has become a criticism, children. And coming to the other point, Marshall criticized that wealth is not an end in itself, but it's a means to achieve a larger end, that is welfare. So for us, not only wealth is important, we need something else also for to livelihood and to live our life happily, children. But here in Adam Smith definition, he only concentrated on wealth. He ignored welfare. That is why this particular definition have got these kind of criticism, children. So with the modified of this particular definition, what we have seen the critics now, we'll see the improvised definition of the next is your welfare. So who has given this definition, children? You can see on the screen clearly. Alfred Marshall raised economics to a defined status, advancing a new definition in 1890. He shifted emphasis from the production of wealth to distribution of wealth, that is nothing but the welfare. So emphasize is nothing but, children, importance, right? He shifted the emphasis mean important. So in Adam Smith definition, he has given importance to the production of wealth. Here he talks about the distribution of wealth too. Is that clear? So that has been, you can see the difference between the Adam Smith definition and your the Marshall definition, that is your welfare definition, children. Coming to the important features of this particular definition is, in the words of Marshall, political economy or economics is study of mankind in ordinary business of life. So Marshall says that political economy is nothing but our economics, okay, earlier, is a study of mankind, mean we people in general in ordinary business of life, means nothing but, children, the activities what we are involved into our day-to-day life. Okay, I think your parents, your teachers, you all who know, your neighbors, your friends, relatives, all of us involved in some or the other activity, right? So it studies about the ordinary business of life, means it talks about our general human being, our we mankind, in our regular pattern of life. And it examines that part of individual and social action which is most closely connected with the attainment and the use of material requisites of well-being. So material requisites mean all the things what we are using, okay, those are all material things, but we are using those material requisites requirements for what? For our well-being, how we want to make ourselves happy. For our well-being is taken into consideration in this particular definition, children. And thus it is on the study of wealth and the other more important side, a part of study of man. So as a coin has two sides, the same way this particular definition gives importance to wealth as well as the welfare of the mankind, children. I hope you understood the definition clearly. Let us see the important features of your welfare definition. Economics is related to wealth getting and wealth using activity. So, according to Alfred Marshall, he says that economics is a subject which is related to the wealth acquiring and also with that wealth, how we can use for the different activities. And it is a social science. So when you say it is a social science, it how the economics is related with your the people and the society living. So it is a social science. And this definition considered those economic activities which promote your material wealth, and like non-economic activities which are ignoble ends are excluded. So here he has given importance to the material welfare and ignoble the non-economic activities children. And a science, even though it deals with ever changing human nature. So as we take human nature, it keep on changing children. So that has been taken into consideration, and it gave importance to man and his welfare, and recognized wealth as a mean for the promotion of your human welfare. Means whatever the wealth what we are using, okay, right, that we are going for the welfare of the promotion of your human welfare. So here both have been given importance. Next, coming to the welfare definition. Here also children, for Adam Smith definition, whatever criticism we got, for this welfare definition also we have criticism. I told you criticism are nothing but again a conflicting idea. I mean whatever the definition they have given, in that whatever mistakes or conflicting ideas are given, that has been criticized by the other economists. So let us see what are the criticisms over here. So economics as a social science, not as a human science. So they say that economics is talks about your welfare, okay, people, society, and all. But it is not giving importance to human science. I mean, all the people's attitude, not only society, all the people in all the society is also equally important. In every angle, all human beings in the whole of the economy should be taken into consideration. But it only talked about the social science, but not about the human science. Human science is the psychology, the attitude, ever changing ideas of a human mentality has been ignored in this particular definition. That is why this particular definition has become a criticism. Second point, no importance to the non-materialistic things. So I already told you, like material things like acquisition of wealth and all welfare for the well-being only we have taken. But there are non-materialistic things also which are equally important for the welfare of the society. So that has been not taken into consideration. And quantitative measurement of economic. So whatever the production or distribution or welfare we are taking, how much the welfare we are achieving, that quantitative measurement is not taken into consideration. Like if you are saying welfare of the society, in which way, at what level, how, which where is an end for happiness of a person, where we have achieved an individual has not taken into consideration. The quantitative measurement of economics is ignored here in the welfare definition. That is why this became a criticism, children. And all material things are taken into consideration, though does not promote your welfare. So all material things which we are taking into consideration welfare, which may not promote your the welfare of the society. So that is why this became a criticism, children. And no concept of scarcity of resources taken into consider. As we know, children, these days scarcity means limitedness. I already told you scarcity of resources, very important concept. Okay, now groundwater and lot of problems we are seeing in the, okay, wood, okay, these all we have so many problems. Resources, minerals are all shortage in the present situation. But that scarcity of resources, that has been not spoken by the welfare definition, Alfred Marshall. That is why this particular definition has become a the criticism, children. Now, as we go to the next definition, that is your scarcity definition given by Leon Robinson. Leon Robinson defined economics as a science which studies human behavior as a relation between ends and scare means which have alternative uses. So the new definition given by Leon Robinson, he says that studies about the human behavior with the relation between your ends and scare means which have alternative uses. We see the main features of scarcity definition on the screen, children. The scarcity definition talks about these major points. Human wants are unlimited, means are scarce, alternative uses of scarce means. So as we know that human wants are unlimited. As, as we know children, as one want is satisfied, another new want crops up. Okay, if that particular want is satisfied and fulfilled, then another new want crops up. That means we know that human wants are unlimited. Coming to means are scarce. Means means I already told you, it could be your money or your resources. This money or resources are always scarce in nature. And coming to alternative uses of scarce means. So as we know that the means are scarce, okay, for that we have a alternative uses. So the main scarcity definition stresses upon these three things. Human wants are unlimited, which have means are scarce, and for that you have alternative uses. For example, alternative uses for scarce means if you have, let us suppose you have electricity. Electricity can be used for your household, or it can be used for the industrial purpose. Or if you take a piece of land, let us suppose, if the piece of land you can produce your wheat or paddy, like that. For every particular scare means you have alternative uses. So alternative uses for that your means scare, and human wants are unlimited. So the scarcity definition stresses upon these 3 points, children. Now let us see the superiority of Robbins definition. So when you see the superiority, children, it is non-classificatory, and it is universally accepted definition. It is neutral between your ends. When you say this, it is non-classificatory. What does non-classificatory mean? As it includes all your human activities, whether they promote human welfare or not. It focuses on the scarcity also. Therefore, this Robbins definition is analytical. Then coming to other point, he says that it is universally accepted definition. Means this particular definition is applicable to all the types of society. Okay, because scarcity of resources is felt by the individuals as well as all the societies. So we say that this particular definition is accepted universally. And the other point why we call it superior means it is neutral between your ends. When you say it is neutral between ends, children, ends means wants, we say. So the ends may be material or non-material, okay, economic or non-economic. Okay, it is not concerned with all that. So thus economics has nothing to do with the ethics. When ethics means this particular want is good one, this want is a bad one. We cannot say. We have want, we have n number of wants are unlimited. So these all economics talks about all, means Robbins definition tells about that, but it does not tell about this is right, this is wrong. It not pass any value judgments. That is why we call it as it is a neutral between your ends, children. So these are your superiority of Robbins definition. Coming to the criticisms of the scarcity definition. Let us see the criticisms of your scarcity definition. The idea of maximum satisfaction is implicit. Means already when you talk about maximum satisfaction, okay, already in the other definition that is say some kind of a it included, this particular maximum satisfaction is included. That is why this become a scarcity, and it is difficult to separate between your ends from the means. We have n number of wants, and you have different kind of means to, and that is only a final point, that is only end for it, we cannot justify. So you have that particular want may be a means for the other one. So that is why we cannot separate with the ends or means. And economics is neutral between ends. I already told you we have n number of wants, we have different kinds of wants, but we cannot say that this is a good or this is bad, and it will not pass any value judgment. It is not applicable to the dynamic society. And what is dynamic society? It is keep changing. Society is keep changing. So scarcity definition has become criticism because that all the time it may not be scarce, it will be ever changing. Okay, when you talk about scarcity in this particular situation, it may not be scarce. If we have different kind of, we have science, technology is improving, the scarcity can be avoided. So it is not applicable to the dynamic society. And it neglects the more important problems of growth and stability. Growth and stability. So as we know that economy is growing and it keep changing and it sometimes it is stable and all. So that particular problems have been not discussed by the scarcity definition. Because of that, it became a criticism, children. Next, let us see the fourth definition, that is your growth oriented definition. Growth definition of economics given by Paul A. Samuelson, an American economist and economic Nobel Prize winner in the year 1970, children. And his definition includes time element and it is dynamic in nature. Hence, it is called as a growth-oriented definition of economic because he has included the time element, which plays a very important role in this particular dynamic society. Now, let us see what exactly in his words. In the words of Samuelson, economics is a study how people and society choose, with or without the use of money, or to employ scarce and productive resources, which could have alternative uses, to produce various commodities over time and distribute them for consumption now and in the future among various people and groups in the society. It analyzes the benefits of improving the patterns of resource allocation. So here you can see all the things coming in the definition, children. How people and society choose, with or without the use of money, and to employ scarce and productive resources which could have alternative uses, and also produce the commodities over time and also distribute them for consumption now and in the future. Mean almost all the points have been taken here in this particular definition, children. Okay, so let us see the important features of the Samuelson definition are. This definition, like Robbins agreed, the resources are not only limited but also have several uses. So his definition, like Robbins agreed, the resources are not only limited but also have several uses. Samuelson's definition is dynamic in nature, as it considered both the present and future consumption, production and distribution. So you should concentrate on the important points over here, children. He agreed the resources are not only limited but also have several uses, and definition is dynamic in nature, as it considered both the present and future consumption, production and distribution. And growth definition deals with the problems of choice in a dynamic society. Samuelson definition is superior to that of the Robbins because he shifted the emphasis from scarcity of resources to income output and employment, and later to the problems of the economic growth. So these are the important features, children. Coming to the next topic of the session is basic concepts of economics. In basic concepts of economics, first we go with the goods. In economics, all the things that have value and satisfy human wants are called goods, children. Okay, I tell once again, in economics, all the things what we are using which have value and also satisfy our human wants are called economic goods, children. So these goods are divided into two: material goods and children, non-economic goods and economic goods. Let us go with the non-material goods are intangible, and these do not possess any shape or weight, children, like services such as of teachers, doctors, engineers, lawyers and actors, etc. These are all come under your non-material goods, are intangible. We cannot feel, you cannot see the shape or weight of that particular thing, intangible good. And coming to your material goods, children, which are tangible, these can be seen, touched and transferred, like water, books, pens, and your cell phones. Next, coming to the other one is your the free goods. These free goods are called as non-economic goods or also called as free goods. Non-economic goods are called as free goods. And the supply is more than the demand. For the free goods, supply is more than the demand. I told you already. Supply will be more than the demand. Maybe it could be your air, sunlight, water. These are all called as the free goods. Possesses only value in use but no exchange value. Here we can only possess, we can only possess it, but we cannot go for an exchange value of free. Let us suppose if you are taking the sunlight, you want to enjoy the sunlight. So whatever you are enjoying the sunlight, you can only enjoy it, but you cannot carry the sunlight and give it to your friend, right? And coming to the other one, examples I told you, air, water, and sunshine. These are all come under your free goods. See children, here there's one more pink block. I've given 2 points here. Some of free goods have become economic goods due to several reasons and are priced. Example, free good near a river. Sand is a free good near a river, but it is an economic good in the town. Okay, right? So I can give you one more example. Air, if you take air as an example, okay, air is also free good we have taken as an example, right? But when a person is hospitalized, who is not able to breathe, who is on the ventilator, right? So we need to pay for that air what is taking, a gas cylinder or whatever it is, we need to pay in the hospital, right? So that become an economic good. So it depends upon the situation. So generally, I've given example here, sand is a free good near a river, but it's economic good in the town. In towns, we use sand for the construction of houses and all. So we are buying the sand and doing. So in that particular situation here, free good becoming a economic good. Okay, is that clear, children? Coming to the economic good. An economic good is any physical object, natural or man-made or service rendered that can command a price. For all your economic goods, we will have a price, children. They always are short of demand for them. We will have a shortage of demand. Okay, whenever you require, you may not have an abundance. And these economic goods have both value in use and also exchange value, such as pen, books, computers, etc. Like the economic good what you are using, like you have passed out your 10th class. So your 10th class textbooks you can exchange with your juniors as you are now in intermediate, right? So you have exchange value for your books, children. Let us see the difference between your free goods and economic goods over here, children. It's very clear on the screen. Free goods are nature's gift. Economic goods are man-made. Their supply is abundant. Means free goods supply is abundant. Means more. And supply is always less than their demand for your economic goods. Coming to your free good, they do not have price, children. Whereas for economic good, these goods compulsorily they have a price. And here for free good, there is no cost of production. What do you mean production? For manufacturing or for producing something, we need some investment or we need some money to produce that, right? But whereas for free good, the air, sunlight, what we are receiving, we are not producing. These are given by the nature itself. That is why it does not have any cost of production for free goods. Whereas for economic goods, those are man-made goods. Okay, we are producing that, so we need some investment to it. So we need some cost to be involved in production process. That is why these goods have cost of production. And fifth point, they have value in use and they do not possess value in exchange. I told you, if you are feeling, now it's in the winter season, okay, we feel like sitting in sunlight, we want to enjoy the sun, heat of the sun. So when you want to use it, you yourself have to go and enjoy it. You cannot carry the sunlight or sun and give it to your friend. So it is only value in use. You cannot exchange it. Whereas for the economic goods, you have value in use and also value in exchange. And their values are not included in national income. Free goods are not included in national income. What is national income? Income of the country, right? Income of the country is called as national income. So free goods are not taken into consideration, whereas economic goods are included in national income, children, because goods and services are produced. Okay, we calculate the value of it. So that will be included in your national income, children. I hope you are all noting down, children, right? Next, let us see the other type of goods is consumer goods. These consumer goods are divided into two: perishable goods and durable goods. Perishable goods means are nothing but which perish fast, which get spoiled very soon. Those are called as perishable goods. Whereas durable goods, we can see the picture on the screen, your televisions, refrigerators, sofa set, laptop, computer, okay, your cell phones and all come under a durable good. We'll be using for many years, and that is why we are using for a longer period. Okay, those are called as durable goods. One more thing here, children, you can see on the screen, consumer goods are also divided into necessary goods, comfortable goods, and your luxury goods, children. Now let us go with the other type of goods is your producer or capital goods. So producer or capital goods are again divided into two, children: single use capital goods and durable use capital goods. Single use capital goods are nothing but, children, in those are used in production process. Once they are used, the utility will be lost. That is why it is called a single use. If you take your electricity or coal or the wire and all, whatever it is, we were using for one particular purpose. So once the production is over, that particular goods will be exhausted. The utility is lost over there. So that is called a single use capital goods. Whereas durable use capital goods like your machinery, equipment, tools all come under your durable use capital goods. So we can use repeatedly for a longer period. That is why we call it as durable use capital good. Now let us see the other type of goods is your intermediary goods. Goods which are under the process of production or semi-finished goods are called as intermediary goods. Like your cement, iron, steel, bricks all come under your intermediary goods, which are used for the other purpose of production, children. Process, they will be under the process of production, children. Next, coming to the other concept is your wealth. Wealth means stock of assets held by an individual or institutions that has the potential of yielding income in some form. So I told acquisition of wealth. Okay, the income what you are accumulating is called as wealth. So wealth have three forms, children. It can be in the form of money. It can be in the form of company shares. It can be formed in the land. So that's all considered as a wealth, children. Now, let us talk about the characteristics of wealth. When you say this is particular thing is a wealth, then it should possess these character features. First one is utility, scarcity, value in exchange, and transferability. What is utility? A want, a satisfying capacity contained in a good is called as utility. Means with that particular want, we human beings are getting satisfied. Then that particular good is possessing utility, children. And scarcity means all the goods which what we buy, it will always limited in nature. That is why we call it as scarcity. Value in exchange means all the goods which what we are saying it is a wealth, it will be having an exchange value. We can exchange it. Coming to transferability means the ownership should be transferred from one person to the other person here, children. Like let us suppose your great land what you're possessing now, it has been given by your great grandfather to your grandfather, and from your grandfather it has been given to your father. In future time that can be transferred on your name. So that what is happening here, the ownership is transferring from one person to the other. So that is also wealth, right? So these are the characteristics of your wealth, children: utility, scarcity, value in exchange, and transferability. Coming to the other point, which is you can see on the screen, wealth is in physical form is a tangible wealth. Means tangible means I told you which we can touch and feel. Okay, that is tangible. Your diamonds, jewelry, factory building, or house. These are all come under your tangible wealth, children. Now, another point you can see on the screen here, human capital is intangible wealth. Human capital is nothing but our talent, our skill, your capability, your efficiency. These are all come under your intangible wealth, children, which cannot be seen, but which plays a very important role, which is rendering us, helping us to increase our wealth, children. Then coming to the classification of wealth, we have four types. That is your personal wealth, social wealth, national wealth, and international wealth. Personal, our own; social, to the society; national, to the whole the nation; and your international, throughout the to all the countries in the world. Is that clear? Next, you have the income. So income is a flow from wealth, children. Whatever the income, it is flow from the wealth. Whereas wealth is a stock. Wealth is called as the stock. So to understand the circular flow, there is two sectors which you can see on the screen, children: individuals and businessmen. So we, the individual, to live happily, we need goods and services. We are involved in some or the other activity. So what happens? We are involved in some activity. We go to the businessmen to give our labor. Right? You can see the arrow down. Okay, green arrow. So it's with the form of labor we are working in business. In business, what is happening? They are giving some income to us. One blue arrow you can say. So we are getting some income. With that income, what we are doing? We are expenditure. With a blue line you can see we are spending on the businessman, and with that money we are purchasing goods and services. Is it clear? So how generally the in the economy, in the country, how the flow of money will be there, that circulation with the two sectors, which is explained here in the subject economics, children. Next, you have utility, another important concept in the economics, children. In the first chapter, it plays give generally for 5 marks. You will be getting this question. Utility has a great importance in economics, children, and the what satisfying capacity of a commodity at a point of time is known as utility. Okay, one satisfying capacity contained in a good at that at particular time plays a very important role. Utility. Utility is four types: form utility, place utility, time utility, and service utility. Form is nothing but, children, giving a shape to a particular commodity is called as form utility. It's nothing but, children, let us take an example over here. If the wood is lying in a forest, it does not have any value. With the same wood, you to produce a manufacture or give a shape, form, in the form of a table, chair, or dressing table, or a cot. What happens? Automatically value increases over there, means utility is increasing over there. Next, coming to other one is your place utility. Place is nothing but transfer, like one place to the other. If it is lying in the forest, it does not have any value. It has to be brought to a market where people can see and purchase it, right? So what is happening? With the help of the place utility, means from one place to the other, we are creating the value for that particular commodity. That is called as place utility. And coming to the time utility, in that particular time it should be available. Time also plays a very important role. And service utility, services of transporters, teachers, doctors, etc., all are equally important. So these are all come under your service utility, children. Coming to the other concept is your value. Value is nothing but where you have value in use and value in exchange. Value plays a very important role for all the commodities. Have some commodities have value in use and some commodities have value in exchange. Another concept is price, children. The value of the commodity expressed in terms of money is known as price, children. For any particular commodity, all your goods what we are using, which have the price, means we are converting in the form of money. So the tagline what we are giving is called as a price. The face value of particular commodity, we can call it. It is called as a price, children. Next, you have the wants. So what are wants? Wants are nothing but plays a very important role, children. It is a starting point of your the economics, you can say. So for what is a desire? Want, desire plays a very important role in economic. All economic activity starts with the desire or wants. Okay. Only when a consumer has the means to purchase the thing and he is also ready to spend the means, so then that particular want will be satisfied, children. I can tell you simply three things. You should have a desire, and next, second one, you should have the willingness, and next you should have the ability to pay. When these three are together, then that particular want will be satisfied, children. Next, let us see the characteristics of wants. First one is unlimited wants. Next, a particular want is satiable, and wants are competitive, wants are complementary, wants are substitutable, wants are recurring, wants change into habit, wants vary with time, place, and person. We'll see in detail now. Unlimited wants. What are the unlimited wants? As one want is satisfied, another want crops up. As that particular want is satisfied, another one crops up. Like that, wants are unlimited, children. Okay, for any human being is not satisfied with one particular want, as it is when you put efforts, you fulfill, you satisfy, and another want is completed, and another one crops up. Like that, it is a continuous flow. So human wants are unlimited, we can say over here. Okay, and coming to other characteristics of want is, a particular want is satiable, means it is possible for a it is possible for an individual to satisfy a particular want fully at a particular point of time is called as wants are satiable. At that particular moment, we can satisfy only that particular want, children. Then next one is, wants are uh, unlimited and which have competition, and means to satisfy them are limited. As we know that we have n number of want, it will always trigger in our mind which want to become satisfied. It always in a competitive manner, it will be triggering in our mind. So with that, this or that, that is called as competition of wants. Next, wants are complementary. Complementary is nothing but, children, if you want to satisfy one want, we need more or one or two things to satisfy. Like if you want to a write, so what you need a pen and a paper. And if you want to drink a tea, you need a tea powder and a milk, etc. So to satisfy one want, you need one or two more than one good is called as complementary good. Next is, wants are substitution. A person can satisfy his wants with various commodities. So you can substitute your want. You can satisfy a want with your rice, either fruits, children. Recurring. Wants recur. Recur means repeat. If we take food for hunger, it is satisfied that multiple moment. Again, another want, other after few intervals, again we feel hungry. Like we'll have breakfast in the morning, and then again after few hours we'll have lunch. Again after few hours we have dinner. So that means wants are repeated, recurring. Okay, is that clear? Next, habits. Wants change into habit, children. For example, smoking cigarette for casual result into a habit. It is not controlled, right? Next is, wants vary with time, place, and person, children. Wants are dynamic in nature. So that is why they change from time to time, place to place, person to person. Okay, it will keep on changing. So wants will not have a particular this thing. So we have seen the characteristics of wants. Now, let us see the other concept, that is your positive or normative economics, children. So, these are the two aspects. Positive economic, a system of accepted generalization about economics phenomena that can be used to make correct predictions about not yet observed fact. And it concerns what is an objective science independent of any particular ethical position or normative judgment. Whereas normative economics, it concerns what ought to be. It cannot be independent of positive. Economic policy conclusions rest on predictions that must be based on positive economics. To make it very simple, children, I'll tell you, positive science is based on the facts, children, and it tells about the cause and effect. It tells about what? Cause and effect. Example, let us suppose if the prices are increasing, what happened? Demand will decrease. That is the cause and the effect. Like increase reduction in taxes, what happened? Increase in the purchasing power. Like government providing health care, increases in public expenditure. So these are cause and effect. These all come under your positive, children. Whereas coming to normative, children, it is suggestive, like as what to do, what should be done in a particular situation. In this particular economic situation, what is the solution? What ought to be is what we have to do. It is a subjective and it is value based, children. That is what should be done and what ought to be done. Example, what should be done to solve or decrease the sales, or why the tax cut. Like now in the present situation, like we said, government expenditure on your health care and all, that was your cause and effect. But whereas coming to normative, what kind of on spending on healthcare benefits, which care, like in present corona situation, how we can have a free corona treatment will benefit the citizens. So that is kind of a solution. Okay, so in positive economics, it tells the cause and effect, whereas in the normative, it gives us the solutions, we can say, children. Okay, next you have the last concept, that is your Welfare. It refers to the satisfaction that an individual or society derive from wealth and can be attributed to the standard of living, individual or society. Welfare about all the people in the economy. And welfare depends on the distribution of wealth, means how we are acquiring wealth and how it is distributed, how the income is distributed among all the different of the society, how everybody are happy in the society. It talks about your welfare, children. Now let us revise what we have learned today. We have learned about your definitions of economic, children. I told you we have four definitions: your wealth definition, welfare definition, scarcity definition, and your growth definition, which play a very important role in economic subject. And coming to your basic concepts of economics, also we studied about your free goods, economic good, producer goods, capital goods, intermediary goods, and etc. And just now we studied about your normative and positive economic. Normative tell about the cause and effect, whereas the positive economic tell about the solutions. So which
Uh,
gives normative economic tell about the solution, whereas positive economic tell about the cause and effect to children. So which play a very important role in your economic subject. And we have some evaluation questions which on the screen, children. You can make a note over here, write down quickly. Examine the wealth and welfare definitions of economics, and explain the scarcity definition of economics, growth definition of economics, different types of goods. Okay, when you study different types of goods, children, it will be helpful for your 5 marks as well as 2 marks also, children. Sometimes when you take different types of goods, it will come for 5 marks. And in different types we can take consumer goods, capital goods. This separately 2 marks you may get it, children. And what is utility and what are its types? Okay, we have four types of utility: title, form, place, time, service, utility. This particular question you may get it for 5 marks, children. And coming to characteristics of sticks of wands, also very important. This particular question also you may get it for 5 marks. Okay, wants are unlimited, wants is satisfiable. Okay, this all we have studied, right? These are all come under your characteristics of want. And what is normative economics? Okay, it gives the solutions we just now talked about. So for any particular problem in the economy, it gives the solution. So this particular question also may come at 2 marks or 5 marks, children. So whatever I told, I hope you have understood. Okay, you can keep your textbook in front, and it will be a recorded one, so you can subscribe and share to your friends also, and listen carefully. If you have any doubts, okay, you can consult your concerned teachers, children. Okay, thank you very much, children, for listening for the economic session.
okay. Thank you, Sridevi madam, for a very good presentation. So, madam
Thank
has
you.
covered in detail all the topics of Unit 1, with very good examples also. So, you have covered all the topics, like what is the scope of economic subject, that is what is the content of economics, what the subject deals with, and also madam has told about the difference between micro and macroeconomics, and also with various concepts like the concept of goods, how the goods are classified into different types, and apart from that, madam has also told about the different definitions, okay, given by different economists, because no subject will get born all of a sudden. Okay, it's because of the contribution made by different experts. I mean, here economists, the subject has grown vast, and there are many topics that are covered under economics, and it is everyone's part of life. So I hope all the students have understood whatever has been told by madam. And okay, and what are the questions that have been kept forward in the PPTs and so on. So I request all the students to go through the questions, answer it. Okay, looking through the PPTs and also referring to the textbook, which is available to you, and also keep watching the webinar classes regularly. Thank you, madam. Thank you once again. Thank you. Yeah.